Welcome to The Advisory, the first and last advice show on the internet, where once and for all, apparently today, we're deciding which shape is the best shape. James, I hear that we have a caller who's written listener, similar but distinct. A listener who has called into the show. Is my understanding correct?
We've had a caller that's listened in and they've written the show. So, what you said both
the energy
ways.
on this one.
Perfect. Flawless.
Pure chaos tonight. Look, we've been arguing pretty extensively, pretty heatedly, I think, recently about shapes and twisties and all things in the realm of chip snackage. And I gather that our boy Shane has written into the show with some inputs and with some solutions.
Yeah, he's written in with his voice. He's chosen to write in with his voice on this one.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the whole. We had a big sort of shapes debacle on the show. You professed your deep adoration for the chicken crimpy.
Yeah.
I obviously went the pizza shape, which, by the way, there was a poll on the Instagram, and while it came close for a brief moment, it was something like 77% pizza, 23% crimpy. So
hey, you know what, James?
I'm just basing this off with some facts and some data, some raw data.
Bell curves, the majority of people sit in the middle, and then the top of the bell curve is where all the smart people are, and it's always going to be a smaller percentage. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah. So Shane's written in now with his words, and this is what he has to say.
I feel like I need to point out that when James was reading out about the barbecue flavored satchels, you specifically said that people wanted the flavor, not the biscuit, not chip, biscuit, because that's what it is. Shapes are savory biscuits, small savory biscuits. You don't make you don't make chips out of wheat. You make chips out of potato or corn, not wheat. So it's got to be I've forgotten biscuit. It's a fucking biscuit. Also, chicken crimpies are the best.
Fucking outrageous.
Yes.
No.
Validation. Shane is my boy.
There's absolutely, look, you get one person to fucking call in and they back you on the world's worst chip.
Gosh.
And meanwhile, everyone on Instagram is all voting for pizza. You get one person says chicken crimpy. Egregious celebrations.
It takes a brave person to stand out from the pack, and that's what Shane has done. What just happened?
I made the mistake of hitting the recap button, and who the fuck knows where we went.
We went into the void. Hang on, I will just say though, is Shane suggesting that a shape is closer to a cookie than a chip? That's what he's saying to me. Because a biscuit is closer to a... Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I had perfected the art of juggling two balls at one time, and you threw a third one in at me, and now I'm completely lost. I want to leave here today with a very clear understanding of now the difference between a shape, a chip, a biscuit, and a cookie. I might die.
Also, this implies that there's such a thing as a savory biscuit. Aren't they by definition sweet? Like, I'm not only am I confused, I feel like reality has been pulled out from under me a little bit. I just in my head, like, a biscuit is like a dessert. That's like a sweet. That's a sweet treat. You know? Because here's the thing. Because a pastry, you can have a sweet.
Oh my god! Don't do this. This is heinous. Shane, you've cleared up nothing. You've
confused.
You came in, you shit all over the walls, and then you went out into the garden and you ripped it up, pissed on it, salted the earth, and walked away. And we're all here left trying to figure out what the fuck just happened.
I feel like my brain went into overdrive to be like, quick, make sense of this data, and then it just like. Just what are you talking about, Shane? What they're Arnott's shape? Arnott shapes are definitely chips. I feel.
Is that what you were saying the other week though?
What?
Are
Oh
you
no!
Did you
hang on.
claim biscuit?
No, I didn't. That's never an opinion I've had. That's insane. I was asking if they're a chip of their own category because in my head, a shape is like its own category.
Oh, so you don't. So you
Its own
don't even
snack
think.
category.
You don't even think shape is biscuit or chip. You think shape is shape.
Shape. Yeah.
Wow.
Because unfortunately, the opening line on the Arnott Shapes Wikipedia is Arnott Shapes are a popular line of savory biscuits produced by Arnott's in Australia and New
Fuck.
Zealand. What are you fucking talking about? What are you talking
the word
about?
savory is doing a lot of heavy lifting there too.
A lot of lifting. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. So they were introduced in 1954, where savory was the first flavor. It's not a flavor.
Hey guys, gather around. I've discovered this thing called salad, and I'm gonna put it on stuff, and then that tastes exactly like it tastes, but only a little bit more tastier. I call it savory.
James, I can't look. I have to close this Wikipedia page because the more data I get, the more distressing it
Yeah.
is.
It's one of those things that, you know, the more you find out about
baked.
something, the more you realize you don't know about it. And that's what's happening with us and the word biscuits right now.
We took a look at the iceberg of shapes and we saw the top of it and we said that's cool. And we ducked our heads underwater and went, no fucking way.
Yeah.
No, too much knowledge down there for me. Apparently they bake them. They're baked, not fried. So like, do you fry a biscuit or do you fry a chip? Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Fuck me, dude. You can, because then you get into like American, like they're essentially scones or whatever, and they call them biscuits.
Yeah, but
that's like a dough thing.
But that's a these
like
are made
bread
of
roll.
dough.
It's like a hard bread roll.
Yeah, but these are dough as well.
I don't know how I feel about any of this. I don't know how, you know what?
I don't know that I needed to know this, frankly. I was living my life as a miserable sack of shit, having no knowledge about this. And now
Shapes red pilled us.
Shane has walked in and he's gone, do you want the blue pill or fuck you? And then we said, I guess fuck us. And then he did. Because what he did.
Well, no, that's not what happened. We said, you and I said, no, we said, we weren't even aware of the blue pill or the red pill. And we were happy living in the Matrix. And Shane zipped by and fucking Dennis the Menace one right into our gob and said, you're red pilled.
Fuck.
We didn't even choose. We didn't choose this information. He forced the red pill on us.
Especially given how much of this episode is going to be food related. This is going to be inescapable. This is going to be one other thing, then we can move on. And this isn't shape related. It just pings something in my brain.
We have one other message from Shane, but keep going.
Oh, okay, so he's going to do more crimes to us. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Very quickly, very, very small segue, slight tangent. I don't know if we talked about this or not, or if I just talked about it elsewhere, but my entire life is making content. I can never tell. Did you know that like Americans call like a burger in America is specifically a beef burger that describes the patty?
Can't do this.
Okay, because they call a chicken burger a chicken sandwich.
Yes.
And I had to show my American friends on stream. I had to be like, this is on a Star Wars stream. The Star Wars fans did not love this discourse. But I was like, I had to show them the KFC menu and be like, here's the tab that says burgers. And they did not believe me. They were like, you're making it up. KFC don't sell burgers. They only sell chicken. And I'm like, yeah, obviously they're chicken burgers. And they're like, you can't do that. That's not a thing.
So it's exclusively chicken sandies in the US.
So they're a chicken sandwich shop.
Right. Okay.
So when I said burger, they were like, that doesn't make any sense. They sell beef. And I was like, what? No, obviously not. Apparently it's a British thing to call everything a burger. Because here's my distinction, I feel. Why am I so amped up about this? Anyway, I don't know why this is making me animated.
Shane is stuck in.
Shane got me. Shane got in my head. because to my mind, right, a burger, the thing that goes in the middle of it is a hot meat. Okay, it's a cooked thing that goes in a burger. Whereas I feel a sandwich is unless it's a grilled cheese, which is its own category, like a grilled cheese sandwich. And I feel a sandwich is that's like an uncooked or like a cold delivery procedure, and the bun's different. I think those are the distinctions in my head, right?
I can't follow you down this rabbit hole. I can't do it. Okay.
That's what's the difference between a fucking burger and a sandwich then?
Dog, I am not in the right headspace to fend off an attack from
Neither
Shane relating to biscuits, and now what's a chicken sandy, what's a burger? Okay, dog.
James, a lot of podcasts.
I'll tell you my stance on chicken and chicken sandwiches and burgers. The common sense one, the Australian common sense one. We all know what a burger is. We all know what a sandwich is. Those are the rules I govern those decisions by. Okay. Now,
James, you know that not having an opinion means you support the status quo.
I am having an opinion. I'm just shortening up my. Okay. I can't. You're dragging me in. I can't do it.
Fine. What else did Shane send? Sorry. Let's move on, because whatever is about to happen can only make us feel worse. So let's not get too stuck in this rabbit hole.
We have a whole show planned, and this is the shapes-sized spanner that has been thrown into our situation and has completely derailed us.
James, the whole point of changing the intro format was so that we would get into it straight away.
I know.
Give us the momentum and the energy to do the rest of the show. And you know what?
And Shane looked at us and Missy Elliott style spat in our mouths and said, I don't care. You will know these shapes facts and they will destroy you.
You know what's worse too? Is by the end of the voicemail, he forgot the fact that they were biscuits and then was like, oh yeah, biscuit. Like it's destroyed us, but for him, a passing fancy. But a passing fancy.
But doesn't that also illustrate the confusion and the debate? Some say a shape's a shape, some say it's a chip, some say it's a biscuit. In his triumphant message with a voice, his write-in with a voice, he even, while triumphantly saying it's a biscuit, forgot mid-statement what a biscuit was, or what a chip is, or what a shape is. You know what I mean?
And then what's a burger? And then it's all downhill from here. Okay. So I just think...
Okay, before we play his next message, I need your official stance on a shape. What is a shape?
It's its own category.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I was chip the other week. I now, having been presented with the new data, I think biscuit.
I might go edit the Wikipedia.
Okay.
And excise all of the data I didn't need to know about and then confirm that it is in fact its own category.
Now, Shane's second message.
Also, how old were you when you realized that the shape behind the words shapes on every one of the boxes is the actual shape of the biscuits inside? I was way older than I should have been when I realized that.
What the fuck? I never realized that.
I've never noticed that.
Holy shit. It is. I'm looking at a pic, James. Can we do it? Can we bring up one live? Can we look at some... What does this show become? Can we look at some shapes boxes, please? Is that possible?
We should be able to come right
we
here.
We can do the live browser, yeah.
And then we can get a browser in the mix.
Love that for us. He's not wrong. The shape behind the shape is in fact it's the shape of the shape. It's a tricky thing to try and describe.
I love I'm just gonna keep it's gonna be blown out like that because who gives a shit? But yeah, these are
that's wild.
All the shapes are the shapes.
Did you? Oh, and the Vegemite shapes are shaped like Australia. How delightfully patriotic.
Okay.
Wow. I've had
Man.
enough revelation for one day. If
I
I'm
don't
being
need
completely honest
I
with
don't
you.
need any more snack related discoveries for at least 2 weeks.
I think one of the challenges that you're going to face there is the 2 questions this week are food related.
They are. I did forget about that.
So it's well, I think it's one of those things where like if we had done those first, they could have been load bearing in our experience with snacks and food and bolstered us. Instead, Shane's walked past us and slapped us on the back of the head and said, "Enjoy the show, cunts."
Yeah, and said, get your shit together. Vis-a-vis the shapes opinions.
Also, that is so much shapes knowledge in one person. By the way, how did that occur, Shane? Like, why you're just laden? You're walking around laden with all of these shapes facts. If you work for shapes, you have to tell us. I think legally, you have to legally disclose that. I feel.
And is a man of many talents and shape knowledge, or we might, because let's face it, neither of us confirmed nor denied his statements. So I don't want to say Shane's an unreliable source. I'm just saying we haven't confirmed if that is in fact accurate. Except
so
we
anything could be
did,
true.
because I'm now remembering that 2 minutes ago we read the wiki that called them savory biscuits. And
That is what
now
happened.
I rescind everything I said and I say pro bickies.
I'm so upset. I don't know what it is about knowing this. It genuinely has thrown me off. Like my brain, like it's all I can think about now. I keep asking myself, like,
You got a dream of shapes.
I just never thought about it, but they are in fact in the grocery store in the biscuit aisle. What the fuck? What is happening?
They don't put them with the chippies?
No, they're with like the tiny teddies and the other biscuits, the other like snack biscuits. And I've literally never, like with the Tim Tams, I've literally never thought about that in my entire life. What is happening?
We can't
Like,
we can't do this. Shane, look at the Shane, sometimes keeping your facts to yourself is good, because look at what facts do to people sometimes. You know?
What the fuck?
Look what they do.
Never thought about it. Ever.
You've broken David. Are you happy with yourself?
Ever.
Are you happy with yourself now, Shane? Now that David's broken?
They're in a different aisle. That's so fucked up. Why have
Let's give David some space and some time to sort of to scoop himself back into his skull.
I don't know why that's so. Anyway, okay, I gotta get my shit. We're onward. It's it like, how do you not notice? Anyway, fucking.
And the fucking chicken crimpy, dude. I only just remember that right at the end. He sneaks in, and chicken crimpies are the best. Get your taste out of your asshole, friend. Chicken
Jesus
crimpies
Christ.
are the best. How dare you? And you know what the worst, Shane, you know what the worst part about you having that opinion is? It's that, 2 reasons. One, I've seen you online, and you do a lot of that. You'll do the new Mountain Dew. You'll do the new energy drink flavor, or the new Dorito flavor. Okay, and I thought that when I was consuming this content that I could trust the taste buds of the influencer in front of me. He's a real taste chaser, you know? Well, no, he's not a taste chaser. He's a what's the trendsetter version of that?
Taste maker? Did you forget the word maker?
Taste chef. You're a taste chef. Now that's my first concern.
Upsetting.
That's my first concern. And my second concern is that You have no idea the damage that you've done when you've come in and you've bolstered David's opinion of something. Okay? That's the real damage. That's the real damage that you've done.
It is a risk, yeah.
He's going
It's
to
a
ride
big-time
that
risk.
high for months.
I'm going to bring that up every time James thinks he's got one up on me, which is common and often. Some would say at least twice an episode.
And I would say those are rookie numbers. You're not counting all the other sweet burns. You know what I mean?
Oh, I do know what you mean. It hurts me personally deeply every time. That's all I think about.
David, let's hear those sonorous pipes that you've got. Read us all the feature question.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay.
Just know, while I'm doing it, where my head will be. I think we all know what else to be thinking about.
Don't say the S word is now banned on this podcast.
We can't do it. We can't. James, oh yeah, I don't. Okay, I can do this. I just have to start. It's kind of like you just got to start. James, am I the arsehole for telling members of my cooking class not to eat bad food? I'm taking a cooking class. It's an adult education class for beginner cooks and focuses on knife skills and basic cooking principles. I've been cooking my whole life and came from a family that cooked a lot, but I never learned the proper gourmet techniques. Most of the people in my class only cook occasionally. There is one young woman in her 20s who says she barely cooks at all. During the first class, we were asked to state our skill level, what we hope to get out of the class. And she said, my family never cooked, and I always thought cooking was a stressful activity and I want to make it a fun activity. Great, but that's not what everyone else is here for. I can already feel this energy. The first day, the first day I noticed this girl had the burner set way too low for her soup. I turned it up for her and explained that food won't cook unless it's hot. She didn't seem to. She didn't seem to know. I also brought over all of her ingredients so she wouldn't have to run around panicking when it came time to blend in herbs. She thanked me but moved her ingredients further down the table away from me. I thought it was rude but didn't dwell on it. The next class, she was supposed to be melting chocolate, which is one of the easiest. Oh, this guy sucks. Which is one of the easiest things to do. I noticed that her chocolate was starting to melt in the pot, but she was getting a drink from her water bottle. I immediately turned her burner down and called her over just to explain how food sometimes needs to be watched, and things can happen very quickly. Again, she was moody and rude. I don't know why. I was just trying to help.
Yeah, and I can't believe how rude she's being to me. And all I'm being is a condescending cunt.
It's weird. And finally, weird, at our third class, she was actually one of the students put in charge of the entree. Up until now, she'd been making appetizers and desserts, which people in the class can choose to either eat or ignore. But it's expected that everyone will at least try the entree. I was, of course, really concerned for my classmates.
Ooh.
I didn't want anyone to get sick or to eat something disgusting. While we were cooking / serving ourselves, the different courses I hovered over were the entree and tried to make casual comments like, that doesn't look completely fresh to me, and ask her what help she needed. Oof. The main course was fish, and I didn't think that an inexperienced cook like her could safely serve the Jesus Christ guy. The main course was fish, and I didn't think that an inexperienced cook like her could safely serve the dish to everyone else. So before eating at the end of each class, the instructor asked us what we learned from each day. I was already frustrated from dealing with this girl that could barely cook it at all, so I answered honestly. Don't trust someone who can't even boil soup to bake a salmon. Most people chuckled, but after the girl got upset, some folks came up to me afterwards and said that I should give her food a chance. I disagree because I think people can actually get sick from eating bad cooking, and this girl shouldn't have agreed to cook for everyone if she was this poorly skilled. Now, sometimes on the advisory, what ends up happening is someone shows their entire ass on the internet.
Often.
And that's what this is like. This is I passively aggressively bullied someone, preventing her from learning, then got annoyed that she hadn't learned as much as she would have if I hadn't intervened constantly and tried to bully her into not making mistakes. And then weirdly, when I called her out publicly, she wasn't happy.
Yeah, she didn't seem grateful for the
She
learning
didn't-
opportunity, you know?
Grateful for the learning opportunity she didn't ask for nor need that I have provided. Also, you're in the same cooking class.
I know. I
If
know.
you could-
You're right
this-
here, dude.
You think for it's what are you doing? What are you this is a different conversation than I'm a professional chef and I had to go and get my accreditation again. So to go to beginner's class and it was like fucking, I've got 3 Michelin, that's not this. This is I cook for fun and grew up cooking. And so I went to a cooking class and just assumed that I knew better than this 20-year-old.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
I love all of the, because no one wants anything more than to pay money to go to a class. And in that class where you want to learn from the professional that you're paying to teach you, I've got to have some fucking nosy dickhead coming over every 2 seconds. Oh, just so you know, you want to turn the burner down on that one. And sometimes you've got to watch things when they cook because they can cook quick. Will you fuck off? You fuck off, dude.
It's
Who are
like,
you? Who are you?
You're in the same class.
Are you the sous chef? No? Then get out
You're
of here
just a guy?
then.
Also, it's not that she was taking a drink from her water bottle. You can look at something and do that at the same time. Just by the way.
And you know what this person's like. Like, he's like, he's like, oh, she should be watching that chocolate. And then she's like, oh, didn't really sleep well last night. Need to get some water. And while a 2-second sip of water's happening, he's sprinting over going, oh my God, turn that down. You're going to bloody burn the chocolate over here. What are you doing? Hey, come over here. You need to watch things because cooking can burn.
You know what this
It's like-
is? Also, I excised it because they all do this, but I think it is relevant. This is a 46-year-old male who is doing this to a 20-year-old woman.
Yeah.
That's like, of course, that's the most like middle-aged guy energy of all time.
It's so like, dude, get the hint when you don't need to like parent this girl or whatever. She's there paying money to learn like you are. Okay. You're a student. She's a student. That's what's happening. She doesn't need you to like get all of her stuff and round it all up. So she's not running around like a headless chook trying to figure out where the panko crumbs are. It's like, dude.
Also, it's cooking.
Leave people alone. Guess what? If she fucking burns the chocolate and fails out, then it's on her because she's there to learn, right?
She'll either learn something.
She'll either learn it or not learn it. Whatever, dude. It doesn't affect you at all. You're not there running the show. Leave it alone. How fucking thing's about to burn. Anyway, all right, back to chopping my onions. Wow, that was really, the smell's a bit annoying, but yep. Minding my fucking business.
The actual way to do this is you notice her having trouble. You say, hey, if you need any help, just give me a shout. That's it. And if she needs help, she will ask you for help.
It's so weird that you would do this to anyone. That anyone, like, that they're operating from a level where they're like, well, this fucking idiot that I am clearly much better than in every single way, I'm going to help them. I'm going to round up their food for them because they obviously couldn't walk around a cupboard and get it themselves at this cooking school.
It's also the thing that's now just wrinkling my brain is like, there is a scenario where, like, as part of the class, you might do peer feedback. That is the one time where you're allowed to be like, yeah, I've got a bit more experience. I think I can give them some really valuable feedback.
Too much vinegar and bland.
Yeah.
But
like, okay, as an example, I missed because of scheduling and stuff. I missed one of my first year writing courses in my first year and had to do it in my like 4th year of my double degree or whatever. And so came into that class and I was like, wow, this is a piece of piss. Kept to myself because I wasn't trying to get anyone's business. And there was a portion where it was like peer feedback. And I was able to literally like
you shot back to life. Like Michael Myers after he'd been stabbed just rocks back up when everyone thinks he's out. And he said, did you say peer feedback? From me, the 4th-year author, to you fucking fresh noobsters. Oh, let me sharpen my tongue. I'm about to rip shreds into your shit. Okay. All right. Story number 1, Mary and the Wayback Machine. Trash title. Page 1. Damn, dude.
This one, let's just say I have both structural and line notes, and a lot of them. Have you thought about changing careers? Yeah, like
page 1. I hope my red pen has enough ink in it, because I'm about to tear this thing apart.
The funniest thing about the whole process is it was like I just took it easy on them, because I was like, the whole point of it isn't, the whole point of it is for someone else to read your work and give you feedback so that you can think about like how you would edit your own work and how you develop taste.
Right.
So someone coming in and being like, yeah, like, you know, I've got, you know, my book deals on the work, I'm about to become a published author, and let me just like tell you, let me just completely eviscerate your work with everything I've learned. That is not the whole point of it. Like, that's not the point of the exercise, right?
Right.
But the fucking funniest thing about the whole experience was when people like that give you feedback on something that is like relatively, like, it was, I pretty sure I phoned in the thing I ended up writing. There was one guy who, when we sat down to do, like, because you sit down and do a discussion at the end, similar to that, with like, oh, you know, this is your opportunity to give some honest feedback about the other people's feedback, which I thought was really weird.
Oh,
Where,
okay.
like,
yeah.
So it's like
well, that's still good, because
give,
that also, yeah, it's teaching you to be like, hey, you can share your ideas on something and not be a dickhead.
Yeah, which I think is like, that's a cool experience, and it was a really like healthy discussion. Problem was, I didn't get anything from it, because the complaint was like, oh, you gave a lot of feedback. They were like, it was a lot. And I was like, is that bad? They were like, no. And I went,
And then
Didn't
you
think
said,
this part of it
actually, and let me critique this. Okay, your attempt
Let
to
me
little
critique
what
your
is this? What is this, Mark? A
critique.
little attempted little character assassination because you jelly him a 4-year writing degree and the book on the way, cunt. All right, yeah, dude. Okay. Let me critique your feedback that you just gave to me. You said my feedback too long, right? In the bad section. And I said, is that a bad thing? And you said, no. Then why is it in the bad pile, Mark? What's the critique if it's not bad then, Mark? Hey, Mark, you're spineless, Mark, okay? No resolve, no gumption, okay? When your ideas are challenged, you fold like a pack of wet fucking cards, dude. Okay? Yeah. If you're gonna hold on to your ideas, ideals, and opinions and beliefs, Mark, okay, you're gonna need to back them up when they're challenged. So I think you putting me, what I said, in the bad pile is fucking trash, and you're brain dead, and you're an idiot, and also I read your spec script and it's trash.
And also, you're burning that chocolate.
And also, your chocolate, I told you that you need to fucking stir it, dude. Okay? I told you that.
Mark can't catch a break. To be fair, if his manuscript wasn't dog shit, this wouldn't have been a problem. So,
what's the type of advice or critique that you would give back to someone's work?
Well, there's three types, right? There's developmental, structural, and then like stylistic. So you're supposed to provide developmental, which is like, is the idea good? Structural, which is like, is it structured properly? Does it follow, you know, the right kind of like procedures for the story it's trying to tell? And then obviously, like, is it well written prose wise? There was one where she did none of them well. Like, it was a sci-fi story that should have been, it was a series of events. It was like the ship crashed on an alien planet, and the character left the ship, had, you know, was confronted by locals, and then had a combat engagement with them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that sounds like kind of the opening arc to a TV show, that's fine.
Yes.
It was a 2,000-word short story. So that's like a lot of stuff happening without any, it's like, it's just like stuff the whole time. And like, there was no interiority. It should have been like 4 times the length it was, like kind of like the TL. So like, developmentally, not a short story. Structurally really poorly put together. The
Wow.
prose was like very clunky and passive. But you have to find a way to do that
I have 2
isn't just.
critiques of those critiques already, but yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, that was the end of the critique. So did you want to critique my critique and then I'll critique your critique of my critique?
Absolutely. I'll say that your first point about too much going on for it to be a short story, maybe you're sort of like lacking the ability to see the full vision, which is a series or a collection of short stories that are all centered within the same universe. And so she's doing 3, Earth, Wind, Fire, and then they'll culminate, those 3 different timelines are going to cross over into this sort of like lead in to the one big story, kind of like how they did all the little Marvel movies and it was all leading to the Avengers or whatever.
No,
That's kind of what
haven't
she's
seen
doing,
those.
but with her short
No.
stories.
I'm not familiar with those.
Similar with like how a band would release an EP and then later they might do an album. She's putting out 3 EPs that will then fuse into the album. You know what I mean? So I'd say a little short-sighted on the first one, and second, when you said clunky, that could just be her writing style. So,
Yeah, and it's a bad one, is I guess my critique of your critique there. The other
Right.
critique I would have of your critique probably is that wouldn't be an issue if it was part of a larger story, but it would still have to be a story in its own right that works. And if anything, you would want less to happen if that were true, because then you could develop more ideas within one plot. So I think that what you've forgotten when you provided your critique of my critique, that you'll now understand from my critique of your critique of my
Nah,
critique.
you're thinking too small. You're thinking too small. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is on. Yeah, I'm sorry that I want stories to be good, and that's probably
Yeah.
a critique, not of your critique, but of you as a person. Is that
You're
you
like
have
the
bad
dude that,
taste.
you're like the guy, this guy's like, hey guys, I'm making the car. And they say, who wants the bloody car? We just want faster horses. You're faster horsing my car right now. Because it's sort of like she's
Well, 'cause
doing a
you
new
excited.
like neo meta short story, which is designed entirely to not have an ending. They all end on like very like cliffhanger. Sylvester Stallone grabs her by
Right.
the glove hand moment. You know what I mean? They are
And-
all
and-
built on. They all end
Right.
on these big crescendo moments, so that the master story can sort of start from a high point. No slow
At the-
open on that one.
At the expense of the stories before it being bad.
Yeah, because it's a body of work.
So are you familiar with the DC cinematic universe? Because all of those are very bad films in service of a larger story that also doesn't work.
That's where they
So-
messed up. They should have made the big one work. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
And you wouldn't make that mistake. I get
No.
it. That actually makes sense. When
I
you put it
thought
like that.
I could hold up like a book and you give like a really short critique.
Yeah.
And I'll go with ones that you know. So I went with, this is Agatha
That's
Christie.
Agatha
This is
Christie.
Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah.
I don't know if I have many critiques of that. It's pretty good. The first
It's
act is
pretty
a little bit
good?
long. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
I don't actually know if I have any negative things to say, but maybe, and this is probably a criticism of Agatha Christie writ large. I think sometimes Poirot can come across as being immune to the events of the story. And I think that in like I'm definitely a modernist, so I'd want more.
He's wearing plot
I want more
armor. You can't have
mystery.
Poirot die.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to die. There are other threats beyond mortal jeopardy. There's damnation. There's
Yeah, the
corruption,
threat
there's
of
other
not
things you can
solving
do.
the crime.
What if? Could you imagine if the
The
book
threat of
ended and
being
you
fired.
didn't know, and we didn't know who done it?
Yeah.
It's a who done it book.
And then the next one picks up with Poirot is spiraled. He's
Yeah.
drinking alone in like a 2-star motel.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. That's Sherlock Holmes does that a bit more. That's my only critique is like and that's really a taste thing. I just like stories that are more personally involving with the characters' kind of interiority and soul. Next book.
Gonna go with Good Omens
It's flawless. I've
by
got literally nothing
T.
bad.
Pratch and
T.
Neely
Pratt and
G's.
Game. It's perfect. No, I think it's a fantastic
No
book.
critique.
I have very few critiques.
Right.
Of, if
Final
any.
one. That's
That's weird. I don't know why. I'm unfamiliar with that one.
this is written by Brisbane's cutest author, I think, is sort of how he's rebranding himself lately. DC McNeil, and this one's called Maynard Trigg. What if you had to sort of like give a critique on that one? What would it be?
Honestly, I think the middle section of the book, like the third act that bridges into the fourth, could be a little bit longer. And I know for myself, I would have loved to have spent more time on Carthage. I think we leave it very quickly because of structural reasons, and it creates a nice urgency at the start of the book. But I do wonder if, whether through flashback or some other mechanism, we could have spent more time there. Because I think at a societal level, it's a very interesting place to think about what made him the way he is.
Well, that's
so
just
if I were to
Doug,
go back
again. You're thinking, you think that, and that sounds lovely. That's great, but you're not thinking about the merchandising, the franchising. You do a spin-off set of books called Tales of Trigg's Past, and that's all set back on Carthage, and that's where we get the, maybe some stuff about, oh, what was Mum up to? What was Dad up
James,
to?
I don't wanna,
you know what I mean?
I don't want to flame you too hard live on the advisory, but that is in fact the video game that I am writing at the moment. Is that it is a story
Tale
set
of Trigg's
20 years
Past.
20 years in the past, on Carthage. It's a murder mystery, and it's all about Manifold and Maynard's mom and all that sort of stuff. So one ahead of you, cunt. So nice try. You thought you had that smug look on your face you always get when you think you've outmaneuvered me.
Yeah.
But I, in fact, had outmaneuvered you.
Back on Carthage, there was a murder on a train, and they had to send in
the French detective Poirine.
Trainard Moreau. He solves crimes.
And I think that'll be a household name before long.
Oh, Trainard Moreau. It rolls off the tongue, mate.
Forget Iron Man. Say the name again.
Trainard Moreau.
Trainard Moreau. As you said, it rolls off the tongue. I didn't need any clarity. So, yeah, that's perfect. We did. I think we solved that.
Yeah.
Whatever the question was.
You suck and leave people alone.
Yeah. You suck and really take a hard look at yourself. You don't need our help. You need to go and probably go to therapy, I would say. Could you imagine if, like, unironically, that was us? Because that is the solution to most of these issues. I would say 70% of the time. Just a really earnest version of the advisory where we read a really fucked up question and we're like, man, I just think you could really use someone to talk to. I think some counseling and some self-reflection.
This is
no
a great,
jokes, no bits.
Yeah, it's, we read it out and we say, really, from our personal and professional opinion is that you should, and then we turn to a much higher quality camera, and we say, and that's why I think you should turn to today's sponsor, and then we turn to it, BetterHelp. Yeah, and then we go into some big sort of 4K ad read.
Can we bleep that in the edit? Because that's a free ride right there.
Yeah, again, no hands touch these podcasts, okay? This is a seamless sort of, comes down off the pipes into another pipe and then back out of another pipe. Yeah.
I noticed that a portion of my capital each month that I invest into this business goes to editors. I assumed that they edit the shows we make.
Well, it sounds like an accounting thing. You're gonna have to talk to Mary in accounts. I don't really know what's happening with that.
Yeah, but Mary said that you make the creative decisions, and that's part of the creative side of the business. I was just assuming that was like an expense that you were aware of.
Yeah, it's so weird. You must have broken up right there. David, my wife is 29 and I'm 32. Okay. And we share cooking responsibilities about 50-50. We're childless, so we're just cooking for ourselves.
This could be you. Continue.
Are you 29 and or 32 and share cooking responsibilities at home and are childless?
It has that tone of like, my wife and I are 29 and I'm 32 and we share cooking responsibilities. Does this sound familiar?
Yeah. Is this relatable to you? # relatable content.
Oh no, I was thinking like then they're gonna sell you a vacuum or something, like it's an infomercial.
Oh yeah, that's because
Yeah.
and they knew that because that part that we just said that was in black and white, and then now it cuts to the full color solution.
Exactly. Yeah.
We have a system where we try to plan out our dinners a few days in advance. We both work full time and get off around 4:30, so it's important for us to know what we want.
Okay.
Late last week, I'd gotten somewhat sick with a stomach virus and was still recovering. However, the day I got really nauseated, I ate a salad and a small burger and threw everything up. You know when you eat something while nauseous and throw it up and kind of turn against it? Well, that happened to me.
Yeah.
For me, it was Jägermeister.
Also, I know I understand the sentiment, but burgers and salads, that's a big portion of food groups.
Well, yeah, he wanted to test his tongue with a
Okay.
wide selection.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So I warned my wife on Saturday, this week I want no salad or burgers. She said okay.
Okay.
Today we get home from work. I ask
Can I make a prediction
Yeah, what's
before we
that?
continue reading?
Yeah.
I think she might cook burgers or a salad. This
Oh,
week.
she better not, dude. He told her not to. He better not.
No spoilers. I'm right ahead, but
that better not be the
advisory.
case.
This is the advisory, and typically, question askers, when they bring up a thing they've asked someone not to do, usually what happens next is the person does the thing that they asked them not to do.
That better not be the case because he was very specific. He said, I got a sickness in my tongue for burgers and buns and also salads.
I yaffed up a burger and I yaffed up a salad, and I would like none of that.
It reminds me of chuffing me guts up, so we can't have it.
It's like PTSD. He's like, honey, I need you to not cook burgers and salads. He's like got a cold sweat on, 1,000 yards stare.
Promise to me. Promise to me. You will not cook the burgers or the salads.
Promise you won't let a burger or a salad come into this house again. I've been trying to forget.
I ask what we're eating since we're both indecisive. She said she didn't want to. She said she didn't know, but would get it started.
What?
I told her I'd go take a shower and I would be down.
She said she didn't know, but would get it. Oh, okay. So she's going to work it out in the
Yeah,
process.
she'll open up the fridge, see what we got. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
As soon as I exit the shower, I smell meat cooking. I go downstairs and she literally made hamburgers. I told her, hey, I thought we agreed no burgers for a while after I got pretty sick. She replied, well, there isn't anything else to eat, so this is what we're having. Besides, you aren't sick anymore. I sat stunned in silence for the remainder of the cooking. Just this gut. She's just like tending to the burgers, maybe cutting up some tomato, and he's just in the corner like this. Jaw to the floor, cannot believe what he is smelling, hearing, and tasting on the wind.
That was in stunned silence.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Chilling.
I assume you felt it on the audio.
Oh, it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable to watch. It was very uncomfortable to listen to.
It didn't feel good to do either.
I sat in stunned silence for the remainder of the cooking, and when she gave me the plate, I got up and threw it in the garbage. We got into an argument. Oh yeah.
Yes,
Hey, I told
normal.
you I didn't want any burgers, by the way, and I know that I could say to you again that I don't want that. But I'm gonna wait for it to be fully plated up, and then I'm gonna say, hey, Bethany, are you watching? Are you watching? In the trash, Bethany. That's where the burger's at.
Yeah, keep going. I'm already sensing where this is going.
So I got up and I threw it in the garbage, and we got into an argument. I then yelled, "You did the exact fucking opposite of what I said to do," and I kicked the trash can, and then told her I was leaving to go out. I then slammed the door and sped off. She texted me calling me rude. I ignored her and enjoyed my meal outside. Hey, real quick, was I an asshole for doing this?
Now, here's the thing.
Short answer, yes. Long answer,
Short
David,
answer-
take it away.
Short answer, ovs.
Yeah.
Long answer, well, I think what happened, I think where you've gone wrong here is the thing that occurred and then your proportional response to the thing. Because also, like, okay, there's a lot going on, but if you abdicate responsibility for the decision, you say, okay, we don't know what we want. I'm going to go have a shower. You work it out, honey. At that point, you've signed your own release form.
Yeah.
You are not able. You can internally be like, "Ugh, burgers again, but like,
Yeah.
you did this. You did these ones.
Yeah. You said, hey, whatever the chef recommends tonight, that's what I want out of the kitchen. And they went, okay, yeah, well, I'm gonna do some burgers. And then you turned around and went, oh, I can't believe you did something I specifically didn't want, even though I said
no.
I'll take whatever you're taking.
Didn't do that, James. Waited for her to cook the whole damn thing.
Oh yeah.
And then made us. Because here's the thing: if she's like, "Hey, that's what we got," he could be like, "Hey, you know what, babe? You cook burger. You have burger. I'll go get something else. That's cool. I just can't. My tum can't do it."
Yeah.
Normal, reasonable. To this feels. You know what this feels like? This feels like the stunned silence is like he's sitting in the corner, like steepling his fingers, being like, "Ah, yes, I will await the moment to make this the most dramatic I can."
Yeah. Yeah.
I shall flingeth the burger across at the kitchen.
I can't believe she's walked right into this trap. Wait till she turns that pan off and sits down. I'm unleashing this motherfucker.
My wife will look like a fool.
Yeah.
I just think there are some intervals before.
Yeah, there's a couple.
There are some off ramps here that you kind of chose not to take.
Yeah.
That I personally probably I would have popped on the indicator, pulled off the freeway, and I would have jumped off this road before I arrived at the insane decision to yell and then swear at your wife, and then kick. I also I love the detail of kicking the trash can. What did that accomplish?
Well, he was driving his point home. He waited for the food to come to him, and then he fucking slam dunked it right into the trash, and then said, "I'm out of here. I said no burgers."
That's like putting 2 exclamation marks at the end of the sentence. I think throwing it in the trash was one, kicking it's another. Like it diminishing returns is what I'm saying.
Right. You think one or the other is effective, but both together, you really took the sting out of it, you know?
Took the Like if I was going to critique this scene, if you will, I would suggest because it's a double beat. I feel is what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
He has an angry outburst twice in a row. It's a double beat. Doesn't really add anything. I would probably cut that.
Yeah.
From the scene of his life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would say that perhaps if you are reacting in this way to someone cooking something for you for dinner and you're 32 years old, we probably need something. We need some intervention here because your response doesn't really fit the crime of cooking something that you didn't want that you absolutely could have repurposed into literally anything else, but
anything else,
or just going, hey, I'll wrap this up for you to have for lunch tomorrow. I'm gonna get something. Yeah,
I would. This is almost always true, but it's possible this isn't about the burger. It's possible.
Okay. Yeah.
This is always true with these kinds of questions.
Yeah, they're looking for like there's a lot of pressure building up, looking for the vent. And sometimes the weakest vent that breaks first is burgers. I told you no burgers. I said I got sick in my tum from burgers and salad.
Also, crazy response to burgers. I feel like burgers are like one of the few, even when you're ill, it's like a good comfort. It's just a thing that's easy to wolf down. You know, you just need to get food in you.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's protein.
Burgers are a good vehicle.
It's a good vehicle.
Yeah.
And you've looked at that reliable wagon, that reliable wagon you've loved your entire life, and you said, well, last week it broke down, so I don't want to get in that vehicle no more. It served you for fucking 32 years. It's suddenly one bad week, and we're off the wagon. We're getting off the burger. We're getting out of the burger vehicle. Is that what kind of loyalty is that? Is my other question here.
Yeah, and it's like, what's the difference between like a burger and a sandwich? You know, that's also the other point.
No. We can't.
Because you know what I mean?
We can't.
And like shapes.
No, I don't know what you mean.
Is that a bicky? You think that's a savory bicky? Oh no, I've accidentally confused it with my, what are those finger snaps? What are the 2 finger ones?
I'm not.
I'm
not joining you in this.
And they're like shortbread.
No, we're not.
Hey Sam, what are the shortbread biscuits called that are in the fingers?
The Scotch finger, you fuckwit.
Scotch finger.
Yeah.
David waited that whole time for me to take off my headphones, turn around to ask you, and then right as I asked you the question, he whispered in my ear, finger. He watched the whole thing. You're sick. You're sick. You know what you are? You're a burger in the trash thrower. That's what you would have done.
I also called you a fuckwit. I don't know. That's slipped through the keep. I just don't want. I can't revisit James. My brain is. I'm in such a delicate state after the introduction of this episode. I can't revisit it at the risk of a relapse.
Right. Okay. So let's give Jerry Springer style. Let's give our final departing words to this guy, or maybe all of the guys on this one that was covered.
I go first.
Sure.
You looked expectant.
No. You go.
You sure? You don't want to go after you?
No, you got it.
You sure? It's a polite thing to do is to let you go first.
Okay.
While you put this into an AI tool.
Thank you so much. I decline.
Oh, no, sir. After you. James, look, I think this is an insane response. And yeah, I would be asking yourself what this is really about. Seems like the burger's not the issue, and I really think you need to revisit your burger loyalty is really my big takeaway here. It's a reliable delivery mechanism for food. They come in all different, flavors and types. They're very exciting. They're easy to cook. I just, rethink this. Don't be turning your back on burgers. That's what I would say.
Definitely. Wow, that was wonderful. Thank you so much for that. I think if I had to say something, it would be oh man, it's hard to think. Just sort of
you're waiting for it to process.
Wow, there's really no, I'm not on ChatGPT. I've made the archaic fool out of myself by going to Google. I should have just ChatGPT'd something.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's tough.
This is what I personally think, okay? You're not going to be able to hear it, unfortunately, so I don't know how to help you, but the people at home will be able to hear.
You can like someone, share common interests, have a good time together, but that doesn't make them a friend if they can't be trusted or if they constantly mistreat you. Friendship is not like a marriage where there's a pledge of until death do you part or a legal document that until divorce gives it a binding status. No, friendship exists only so long as both parties act as if they are friends. So know this, as hard as it is to have a really true friend, there's no trick to losing one. Dishonesty and inconsideration are surefire methods. Till next time, take care of yourself and each other.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jerry.
That's really insightful, actually.
Wow. So I guess what I'll say here is, you can't have, relationships are all about, treating each other with respect and kindness and compassion. And sometimes that comes in the form of letting people make mistakes on their own and learning from those mistakes so they learn it in a way that's relevant to them. And other times it can be not waiting till someone fully finishes cooking you dinner and then slam dunking it in their face and then kicking it across the room and saying you suck.
And something you
sometimes
definitely you want to avoid probably
you probably want to avoid
is
those.
yeah, and then also like the other thing I wouldn't do to my friends is bring potentially damaging information to them on their show that's live that is going to begin to unravel their understanding of reality. That's
Right.
not a very friendly thing to have done.
Sure.
That's a
Yeah.
random example. I don't want to call anyone out specifically.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no specific names being mentioned there, but
No, you'll work it out.
hey, you know.
Yeah,
You know.
you're a switched on person. You'll figure it out. Whoa, James, that's the show. That snuck up on me because I was having such a great time on the advisory. I always forget that we have to end it. What a disappointment. But if you go, oh man, I'm so sad it's over. I'm so sad it's over. You
Yeah.
can go to youtube.com/@BlackSwanSociety. You can watch all the other stuff we make. Or you can watch all the other episodes we've made. This is episode 41, which ontologically means there's 40 episodes you could be catching up on. That's the true fact that you could do right now at youtube.com/@BlackSwanSociety. Or you can follow us on TikTok at BLK Swan Society, on Instagram, same handle at BLK Swan Society. You can send us a DM on Instagram if you want. Or you can join the conversation live, twitch.tv/Black Swan Society, 6 p.m. AEST every Thursday night for the advisory, twitch.tv/Black Swan Society. And of course, as always, all of those links are in the show notes. And if you want to send us something directly, feel free to DM us on Instagram, which we will try and check more regularly, or you can email us, blackswansociety.mail@gmail.com. That is blackswansociety.mail@gmail.com. Again, you can find that in the show notes. Clickety clack on that link right there in the show notes, and it'll just open up in your phone with your email client. It's that freaking easy. And if you're on your phone already, looking at us on your device, please consider giving us a rating or a review or a comment wherever you encounter us. Don't know why I said that like we're Pokemon, but sure, wherever you encounter us. And if
maybe
you give
in
us
some
a
long
funny,
grass. Maybe by the coast.
maybe fishing, you pull out your rod and we're on the line. Please consider giving us a rating or a review on your podcast catcher or platform of choice. And if you give us a funny or just an interesting review on Apple iTunes, 5 stars only, and you include a voice that you want me to do it in, I am legally obliged to read your review in that particular voice. So you can do that and know that I am famously bad at impressions. So it's an exciting time for everyone. You can embarrass me and help the show at the same time.
For
Isn't that what this is
free.
all about?
It's free as well, you know, because like so few things are free these days. But
It's
going
true.
and leaving a review and getting it read out in a voice of your choice by David, that's free. And
It's free for
that's a lot
them.
of value.
It costs
them.
me my dignity, but it's free for them.
Yeah,
like,
well,
it's
you know,
costing someone something.
capitalism though, you know, where it is and when it is, someone's getting
Yeah.
trod on or
Ponzi
something.
scheme, I get it.
Yeah.
Pyramid scheme. James, this has been a very food-centric episode of The Advisory. I'm going to go away and really try not to think about shapes and really try not to think about sending a very rude DM to Shane for what he's done to our understanding of reality. You can join us next week, the same bat time, same bat place, for episode 42 of The Advisory, where we will no longer speak of the crimes that Shane has done. That's it. Goodbye. Hey, that's the whole thing. You can go. Listen. You don't have to stop listening to podcasts, but you can't stay here. You don't have to stop listening, but you can't stay here. You need to go because the show's over. It's done now. You need to